Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Probably you are aware that Hungary is the only country in the European Union that opposes Ukraine's accession or the start of the talks for Ukraine's accession into the European Union. Well, that's a false statement. There are at least three that voiced opposition to Ukraine starting the talks. Well, did you know that? But it always happens like this. Courage is individual. There's no group courage. It's individual within a group. And then people around that will get inspired by the one. And that one was Orban. Sorry to say it for some, but that is true. The Prime Minister of Hungary has big balls, and he was the only one for such a long time to say, no, we oppose it. That's not fair. No, we can't help, but vetoing the talks. They were called this and that, and Hungarians were the pariah of Europe now, But let me mention the other two countries who actually have, how should I put it, express their refusal to start negotiations, European Union negotiations with Ukraine. So I'm going to start first with this article coming from Sputnik that we already know, right? Hungarian Prime Minister vows not to let European Union make mistake by starting accession talks with Ukraine. I think it's a mistake because Ukraine is way too behind. You can't just do that. And if you do that, that means you are going to do right, where is it? Read this one. Austrian Chancellor opposes preferential treatment for Kiev in EU accession negotiations. So, oops, you have the second one. So if this right here is the first one, this guy right here, who has been alone, another guy jumps in. And this is Austria. Now, are you familiar with Austria-Hungary as a country, as a kingdom, dual? Yeah? Okay. Well, it was formed by Austria together with Hungary. And look at these guys. They make a common front. Do you know after the First World War, what happened with Austria-Hungary? It was dismantled. And a lot of a majority of their then territories, they occupied with many other nations, they were taken away from them. So these guys are very, very angry about that. Austria, from being, for some time, with the Habsburgs being a very important part of Europe and very strong, until Napoleon fucked them up a few times. Together with Hungary, they got it and they became great again for a little while. Again, these countries, these nations, Austria is I think is about 9 million people, 8 million people. So is Hungary. So they are small countries like Israel. Not that important No, but nevertheless, alone are not that important. Together, obviously, they're going to have more power. So I think somewhere in the back of the head of these two nations that at one time formed one kingdom, it was dual kingdom, whatever it was called. Now, no, it seems like they're together on this front. I got the third one right now. Not only Austria and Hungary, I got the third country ready for you to show you that they are not alone. Right there, Slovak Prime Minister Fico says Ukraine is not ready for EU negotiations. Is he holding his hand over there because he's afraid to have his head cut off? I hope not. They will be trying. Metaphorically, like they did to what's his name, Gaddafi. So again, we have Hungary. We got this guy. Then we got this guy, and now we got this guy. So you got three countries opposing that, and I will tell you a story if I get by the end of this video about a situation where a guy like Orban stood up, and I will tell you the story who others were supposed to back him up, and they didn't. Now these guys are saying this at the last moment. Why last moment? When is the summit going to occur? At the end of the week or next week? So it's going to be a few days before they're going to cast a vote. They're going to meet. And now these guys show up from the woods, dragging their knuckles. Oh, we're coming too, Orban. All right, so let's see what's going on here, because we have Zelensky saying something about it. So what is Zelensky going to say about it? Let's see. Right there, Ukrainska Pravda. If Hungary blocks EU decision, it will mean Putin vetoed it. Okay, all right. Well, what does it mean if these guys are going to block? Would it mean that Slovakia vetoed it and Putin vetoed it through Slovakia, and the same thing here, Austria? Now, see, this guy did not expect people to get together like he expects his side to get together, to be opposed. Austrian Chancellor, he's right. He's right to oppose preferential treatment, because Kiev will get preferential treatment if it's going to be asked to join the talks with the European Union regarding its accession into the EU. That's definitely preferential treatment. And if you go to Slovak, it is true. Ukraine is not ready. Ukraine is not ready. Ukraine is still at war. You don't even know if Ukraine will be a country after this, and what kind of country, and who's going to be in charge. What I suspect is going to be a government put by the Russians, controlled by the Russians. It's going to be voted in the office, mind you, but they're going to count the votes. That's what's going to happen with Ukraine. You like it or not. The Americans will be allowed to chip in if they want, and they probably will say, no, we don't want, it's your boy over there. That's what probably they're going to do. So again, it's not ready. It's not ready with its lack of freedom. Remember, they banned how do you call it? Christian denominations, so religious denominations, Christianity, the Church of Moscow, Orthodox, blah, 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 out. From 1 or 2 or 3 persons, they ban the whole thing. Like I go to your institution, I find one corrupt person, and based on that, I close your business. What? Or the same thing, I find you guilty of something, I bulldoze your house, like in the country of right? Collective punishment. We don't function like this, if I remember correctly. Right? So you can't really do that. So you got Fico, Slovak, and let me show you a map. Map is very important. A map. Why? Because it's going to help you realize how related these 3 countries really are. Right there. This is the country of Europa, Europe, right? This is the country of Ukraine right here in that kind of purple. And then you have Romania, this, bloody shit color. And then you got Hungary right here by Ukraine. You got Slovakia, north. And you got Austria that has border with both of them. You see here, both Hungary and Slovakia have border with Austria. So there's like a 3-country right here. Remember, guys, the countries from Visegrad, the Visegrad 4 countries. You remember them? Well, I'm going to show them on a map for you. These are the countries used to be from the Visegrad. Poland right here, Slovakia right here, Hungary right here, and Czech Republic. So all this thing was the countries of Visegrad that were opposing the Western guys. Germany, France, they did their own thing. So it's dangerous here. Slovakia, Austria, Hungary. So that's another situation where you have 3 countries, 2 of them bordering Ukraine and Austria, getting together. Now, again, Zelensky, now what are you going to say about the 3 of them? Are they all working for Putin? Now we know that Orban works for Putin without any doubt, because you provided so much evidence to support your claim. Okay, 0. Anyway, so let me tell you the story. The little story that I've been talking about at the beginning of this video. There was a 1988 or 1989 or 1988. I think it was 88 or 86. It was a Communist Party plenar, a meeting. Ceausescu, the dictator, and he was talking over there, and other people can speak, come and speak in front of the audience. And at one point, Ceausescu was talking in front of the audience, and he was like, okay, this is over. And then one guy from his party, from his group, he said, comrades, I would like to speak. Allow me to speak. And this guy said, what? Oh, you are not on the list, the guys. You're not on the list? No, you can't speak. Well, no, your name is not on the list. And he said, but I put my name on the list. I would like to address the meeting. I would like to address the public, the audience. That was televised. And then Ceausescu said, okay, let him be. His wife, Elena, said, bah, boo, bah, 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 like a... He said, bah, 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 bah. All right, and they let him do it. So when he got at the podium over there to speak, there was no more the transmission, television, and then they cut it. They didn't know what the guy is going to say. He was not, how should I put it, not checked, not verified, or not vetted. So he said, and he started criticizing Ceausescu right there, in front of everybody in that audience, but not televised anymore because the guys cut it off. Now, Ceausescu claimed something back, and then the people in the audience that were paid, they were from security, started applauding against him, who, babu, leave, chanting all kind of things, and the guy retreated. And then after that, he was released from his duties and kind of like a house arrest. They didn't kill him, they didn't put him in prison, but he was out, released of his duties. And I watched that with my father after that happened, when I was on YouTube, and I showed him that, and I said what courageous he was, and he was alone, and I was looking at him like that, and he said, I don't think he was alone. I guarantee you there were some others within the party, where he, not from the audience, from the party, from the guys, they were supposed to, whenever he was talking, they were supposed to stand up and join him. He didn't act alone. He said, I guarantee you there were people over there who were cowards, who when they saw what's going on, they were too afraid to stick their neck out. So the same thing is with Hungary and the two. And there are some others over there that are afraid to stick their neck out. But now, Slovakia and Austria said, you know what? Why? Because they saw that nothing happened to Hungary. What's going to happen to Hungary? Nothing. On the contrary, Hungary is going to get some money, some billions. Just got what? $11 billion yesterday on the 12th from the European Union. They released some funds. They say, well, they're going to release some funds and he's going to forget about the veto. Yeah, but now you got two more problems. You got Austria and you got Slovakia. So remember, there's always people that are, you need an example. And that example needs to fend off garbage. Like Russia is an example for other bad dudes on this planet. I have to say this for YouTube, okay? So there are some others that will look and will, say, look, this guy is not destroyed, is not destroying, is withstanding the attack of the good people of the West and NATO, okay? So, wow, let's join this guy. Then we're going to start talking. We're going to get our balls a little bit bigger. And we're going to say, excuse me, you bad. Because now they see that this guy is not destroyed. If Russia would have been smacked as expected, then everybody will be like, shit, if Russia got smacked, how about me? Holy moly. And now they show up. A lot of countries are emboldened by the negative actions of Russia in the dictatorship. Okay, we got to do the propaganda garbage here, okay? But you know exactly what I mean. So the same here. Courage is the most important ancient virtue, Greek ancient virtue, because from there everything comes. If you're afraid, you're going to be afraid to act. If you're afraid to act, you're going to stay there in your little bubble. wisdom, temperance, courage. All right, my friends, media aura est, but sometimes you need to push the extremes, which is the Roman saying, not average, but the middle way, balance, to be balanced. Temperance is is golden. Sometimes you have to push the extremes. If you don't push the extremes, you will never know how far you can move. And maybe you determine that your media, your middle ground is actually a little bit this way. If you don't try to push it to see, and you're wrong all the time. So good job, these guys. Good job. Good job opposing that. I don't think Ukraine should start right now, since its position is still at war. How can you start this one? And what the Austrians said is true. Preferential treatment. It's impossible. Same with NATO. Preferential treatment. You can't have that. Article 5 implemented the second they would join NATO. You can't have that. I mean, they can. I mean, this is the world. It functions like that. Not fair. But the NATO and European Union are afraid. But you see, they have people with, I don't think that necessarily they have principles, but they look for their people, for the interest of their people, which is Hungarians, Austrians, Slovakians. I don't think Zelensky looks for the Ukrainian nation's people, not for his people. He's looking for his people, but not the Ukrainian nation. Don't fool yourselves. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.